No, I'm saying no to it. Even if I get nothing, that's no, that's not going to work. Fine. Halfway up, Adi, come on, look at this place. It's so much nicer. Come on, you don't need, come on, it's a little bit crazy. Come on, let's not be extreme here, you know? And again, you have to go through that process that says, okay, there's a reason why I said this, you know, and I'm not just someone who's starting out, for example, fresh out of college. There's a reason why my instincts are telling me this. So again, I have to say, okay, with love, thank you very much, knowing also that I can probably find that again if I needed to. Sorry, no, you know, and it's this process, right, that gets you into a place where not only do you can you identify and do it, but I think that process of saying no actually helps give you that final 5, 10, 15% that you need to actually be able to credibly secure that. You know, it's like you need a little bit of that, the little you know, to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
able to say beautiful. Like if I was lucky enough, like if we were on a first date, I need some really terrible dates before I'm like, oh my god, okay,
yeah,
okay, okay, I got to take
yeah.
this super seriously. You know, this is special. You know.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I totally agree. I feel that, like when you're saying about these like points on the way,
Yeah.
I feel it's like parkour, when they jump from one building to the
Yeah.
other.
Yes.
So you have the midway, and you're not sure you're gonna get to that. Like this midway, it's like a
Yes.
few moments that you really don't know, and it's
Yes.
so scary. So
Oh God,
at that
terrifying.
point, yeah, and at that point, you need to believe that you will get to the other side, and
Yes.
and you always need to do it in order to really get to the other side. Because if not, you would just stay when where it's secure, and try to really go again and again to the same position.
Hmm.
And I think that it's a way of living, to
Yes.
believe that to trust yourself,
Yes.
to trust others, to trust,
Yes.
I know, whoever believes in God, in the universe, I know
Yep.
who, that you could do it. And if not, it's okay. It's
Yes.
okay. Like it,
Yes.
and it's like living with that unknown, with that fear, is something that is needed for everyone. It's not only related to career. It's
No,
like
absolutely. It's
when
a
you're,
it's an element it's an element of faith almost, you know, like
yeah,
in these hard moments, you know, and turning to it. What you said though is so uh, uh, relevant and valuable though too, because you know what you mentioned is, you know, and even if it doesn't, it's okay. That part I think is so valuable. A couple of years ago, you know, for many years, my worst nightmare was things are gonna get so bad, I gotta like go to a pawn store and pawn off stuff, right? Where that was my nightmare. Well, guess what? That actually happened. Where I was at a pawn shop in Rochester a couple of years ago. I had my wife's jewelry that my mom had given her, was selling. It was so freaking depressive, like the nightmare. And I'm sitting there, but here's the thing: this ended up being one of the most positive experiences of my life, believe it or not, because I'm sitting there. This is it. I fell like between those buildings. I fell right through, and I'm looking at these people, right? And a lot of these people, they're lifers. They're here not because they were trying to do something or trying to build something and they ran into to hard times. They're here because they're alcoholics. They're here because this is their life. This is how they're going to get through the day. And when I realized that, I understood that even if you fall through that crack, that's a very different person than the person who freaking lives in that crack, right? Just because you're going through a dark forest is very different than the person who lives there. And the fact that you're there for the reasons that you are changes everything. You know, like it shocked me out of that way of thinking because I realized, darn it, like there is a value. You know, everything we're talking about, it's in the light. You know, we're talking about stuff that is so firmly in the light that even if you fall a little bit, you're still in the light. You know, you haven't
yeah,
become a different person. You know, I
yeah,
almost needed to see that in some sense to be able to like let go a little bit of that, whatever that nightmare thing was, you know, whatever that inner fear was.
yeah. So we're continuing. I was supposed to finish like 20 minutes before.